Coming up this week, I pull a wheel spin. And we talk about getting good too. So let's get into it, folks. Hey there everybody, welcome back to TJC Gaming. And I bring some footage here from Race C from last week and SF19. And oh look, it's me, Mum. So yeah, this race last week was really good. I won 11 races last week. And since the dailies completely suck this week, and I don't know if you've tried them, but I would advise you just to completely avoid them. I am not touching them with a barge pole at all. There's no freaking way I am touching that pile of garbage. So let's hope for better races next week. And yeah, in the meantime, there's always public lobbies or FIA, for example. So, okay, last week I had this great race here. So I want to talk about a couple of things today. I want to talk about race pace, getting good, and managing the gap too. So this was one of my favorite races from last week at Spa, one of my best circuits I'm very good on. So I started second here, and as we discussed in previous videos, my aim is always to get into the lead as soon as I can. So I boosted past the second place guy here, and my aim is now to keep him in second. As I always say, you want to keep that guy behind you using very clean means, of course. You do not block, you do not weave, you do not do anything unintentional to get them out of the race. And as I say that, I got a bit wide there, but that was just pure accident, of course. So getting the lead in a race, you want to keep that lead, and you want to keep it on pure pace. You want to show that pure merit alone is the reason you're out in front and you're doing these races. So the thing to concentrate for me, especially that I've been working on, is my race pace. My race pace in the terms of completely being as consistent as I can and hitting all those apexes and getting on the accelerator even earlier and just trying to keep the momentum through the corners. So in this race, you'll see a little bit later on that there will be an intense battle between me and the fifth place player there, Damon Skill. So we were very evenly matched on pace, but we'll get to that. So far, obviously, have the lead, and this guy behind me will get quite close at some points, and I'm finding it quite hard to break that slipstream. So I'm not trying to break the slipstream at this point, I am just trying to roll with it and see what happens. Because I can see behind him, there's other cars too, queuing up. So I'm just pushing as hard as I can and boosting wherever possible to try and maintain the gap at least. If I can't escape the 1.5 OP as hell slipstream, then just roll with it and just see what happens. So the very best way to treat this car is exactly like how you treat your woman, your girlfriend, your wife. The faster you slam it through a corner, the faster she'll go in return. So she always pays back when you slam her through the corner. So, dirty analogy aside, I'm boosting now just to try and keep my first place. And I'm just about to fend from the guy here. So yeah, through the corners. And yeah, just right behind me there. So, as I mentioned previously, keeping that first place, very important. Very important to keep track position. And a track like Spa is a real driver circuit as well. The very best drivers do very well here, and you know, the not so great drivers, they don't like it so much. I think there's an American driver who doesn't like this track very much. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but if you do remember his name, just drop it down in the comment section. Maybe it'll remind me. Oh wait, I think it's a Canadian, isn't it? It's name off the top of my head. The Formula 1 driver, Lance Stroll. Yeah, Lance Stroll. That's the guy. He doesn't like Spa. What sort of a driver doesn't like Spa? It's a driver circuit. Does that mean he's not a driver? Anyway, I digress. So yeah, back to race pace, and speaking about race pace and these sort of things. So in everything when it comes to race pace, your consistency is going to mean everything. Especially when you've got a guy behind you that's pushing you all the way home and you just cannot take a breather for a second. So on pad or wheel, you've got to try and be as consistent as you can, no matter how the pressure gets to you, as the Brit just bangs me up the rear there. No, that sounded a bit wrong. No, he tapped the back of my car. Yeah, that sounds a bit more PG. 12, 13 friendly or something. So here we go through La Source and down to my favorite and probably everyone's favorite, apart from Lance Stroll's that is, part of the course, Eau Rouge and Raidillon. I can just imagine that dip in real life, the compression on your spine, and then going over the top of the hill. That must be absolutely incredible. And it's just something we cannot replicate in a race game. So here we go. Number 2 here, he's trying again, and I boost again. I'm keeping the inside line, keeping it nice and defensive. I hold the line, he cannot get past me. And you're going to see in a couple of corners time that as he taps me again, I do think that's accidental, by the way. I don't think, you know, he's trying to ram me off. If he was trying, like we've seen before with dirt drivers, I would be off a long time ago. So here we go, coming through the corner of No Name. And just keep an eye on the mirror here, and you will see that, off to the shadow realm you go. Unlucky, my friend. So I can't help but laughing, but it is funny when I drop it and other people drop it too. So yeah, so we have the German behind me now and the Brit. So we've got a little bit of a breather gap here at a slipstream range, but that does not stop me from pushing and boosting as well, as you can see. You gotta push, 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 and just try and break down your opponent's defenses so that they have nothing to come back onto you with, and they cannot get back in that slipstream of yours. So other important things that I do is I don't look in the mirror when it's not appropriate. So I don't look in the mirror and check my lipstick, for example, because, you know, I don't wear any. But yeah, like women do, of course. But yeah, so you don't look in the mirror when you don't need to, and you check the delta only when you're on a straight. So if we keep an eye on the delta here, Damon Skill is now into second place. And this driver is pretty quick. So anyway, we're going to skip to lap 9, and you can see that that gap is just kind of remained the same. It's just literally a couple of seconds. So all through this race, I've had like no breathing room at all from the second, third place guy behind me. So I've had to push every single lap, and you can see my lap times there. As I've tried to keep it as consistent as possible, because I do not want to lose this race through crashing, through doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. So I just want to push, 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 push. But never, and I mean never, confuse that to what you say to a cat, which is push, 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 push. Those are two completely different things. So, moving back onto the race, if you keep an eye on the delta here, you will see that Damon Skill behind me starts to lose some time. So, keeping the pace that I have and having him try to keep that exact same pace has led to him pushing a little bit too hard, losing concentration, and just making a mistake and just falling behind the delta. So it's not by much, but it is a very fine margin, and it could just be enough to win you races when you're pushing that hard, and when you're keeping consistent, and you're keeping your lap times in a comfortable place where you feel that you can be fast, but you're not overdriving the car. So those with keen eyes will see that I've used almost all of my boost as well, as I double the speed of this last clip for you. So the reason I've used all my boost is, well, almost all my boost anyway, is because I noticed that in order to close up the gap, Damon's Skill during the race was boosting just a little bit on every single straight, and the delta was coming down just a little bit each time. So I had to respond to that and boost back in return. So I boosted successfully, and I've got a tiny bit left just for the end of the race. But it was so close. Watching back the replay from his perspective, he started, I believe it was 5th or 6th place or something like that. He did very well to come up to second through the other cars too, to get onto the back of my gearbox. But there was no way I could let him into that 1.5 second slipstream range. If he was in that range, I think he would have had me. So did a great defensive drive there and a great offensive drive at the same time. So I was thinking very defensively, and I was thinking very attacking at the same time. So we come through now into the bus stop just to complete the race, and it was a great tactical race, and we had a little talk after the race, and yeah, we both congratulated each other on a great drive. And it was great to see the sportsmanship, which is kind of lacking in GT right now, but hopefully they tweak the penalty system and we get back to how it was. So here we go, first place, and that's how I won that one. So I hope you enjoyed some nice content, guys. I hope everyone's keeping safe, and I hope to speak to you soon, and take care. Thank you very much for watching. This is TJ. Bye for now.